Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Meeple has landed.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Vitruvian Meeple's presentation of The Powers That Be, a Claim the Sky campaign. As you can see right below me, Tink had to pull an all-nighter grading some papers. So the rest of us are here. We're going to tell some stories. We're going to have some fun. But as always, I'm going to pass it over to our GM, Patrick. Patrick, please take us into our own little worlds of Excelsior.
All right, so tonight we're doing a special annual issue, which will probably happen more than once a year because I absolutely adore the idea of, in comics, of course, annual issues take place kind of outside of the main storyline of what's happening. Sometimes they actually work together, but usually not. And so what we're going to have is just a set of aside stories that will be taking place around the same time to fill out some of the background of each of the characters, have them face some new challenges on their own, or perhaps together. We'll see if anybody runs into anybody else during their adventures for the night. So to get started, I would like to have each of you roll us a, let's say, D20 to see what order you're going to be in.
Is a straight up D20?
Yes.
12.
What do we type in?
Just, you can either do /R space D20, or you can go up to the little D20 icon in the upper left, hover over it, and then click on the D20.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll do this.
It's the only 20 he's going to see all night.
Those two. So our order then will be Gen X, then Crash, then Black Ice, then Paw of Justice. Unless, of course, you like step on each other, and then I'll just kind of merge two people together. But we'll see where the night takes everybody. So all this is going to be taking place through the course of one day, possibly into the next morning, depending on how late some people want to go with their, activities. So up first, then, Gen X.
Hi.
Your day starts off in the most delightful way possible because you wake up and as soon as you pick up your phone to look at it, a text message arrives. It's a very official looking text message, seeing as you have one of those nice STEM phones. They provide such things for free for folks like you. And the message says, "We notice you have not had an appointment with us as your team lead in quite some time. Read ever. Please show up at the STEM offices in Manhattan today in order to arrange for a meeting immediately."
What did I do beforehand? Oh, that's right. I didn't have to do this beforehand.
That's right. You weren't in charge.
All right. Open, reply. We'll be there just past the hour. stopping to get coffee first. Send.
So how are you going to dress for heading out to a nice official or officious meeting with the fine folks over at STEM?
Thought I was doing the alien folks.
Oh, well, that's right. Never. Hang on. I'm having a.
Can I talk my way out of it?
You know what? You can totally do that through text. You have skill.
So
Second here. Let's see.
I get out. I put on my black Rush t-shirt and jean jacket.
Oh, I know what we're going to do. Okay.
And I'm thinking it's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And like that. So if it's the TikTok, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing different camera angles and me just kind of walking through, and with the sound panning in the direction I'm walking. I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. Getting dressed, whatever. I go downstairs and walking the Sunbucks. Back shot, me the back of the head. I don't want to do this. Go in and notice the line is only to the door as opposed to going out the door. So I was like, okay, this is my chance. I'm gonna clear my head. I'm gonna figure this out because I would rather deal with Grendel right now than just have to go into that office.
So as you're standing in line and slowly moving forward, you suddenly realize somebody is standing next to you. They just appear from nowhere. Weak, and it's Will. Hey, how are you doing?
Oh, just trying to get out of bureaucratic bureaucratic leadership responsibilities. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm trying to convince one of my friends to go out and have a fancy dinner today.
Ooh.
And maybe do some other things because you know, it's some of us have something special in common with each other, and that's us. And you know, just like there's maybe a handful of us out there right now. So I was wondering if maybe you wanted to go out, have like, you know, a nice fancy meal somewhere, as opposed to going and dealing with some bureaucrats over in STEM.
I would love that. So I pull out my phone and type open I pull up my phone, find the text message, and respond, we'll have to reschedule, period. Yeah. Suddenly called to deal with minor issue with troll dark web, period. Send. Oh, look, my schedule's freed up.
Excellent. That's the only way to handle bureaucrats, you know. Otherwise, they'll just always be all over you. Like they wanted to have a meeting with me of all people. I don't even work for them. You know, either you want me in and you're going to pay me for it or not.
Mm-hmm.
All right, excellent. You guys shuffle forward a little bit more. Like, so do you like French food?
I mean, their fries are decent.
No, I mean like French food in France.
Can't say as I really had an opportunity to do that whole culinary exploration the last few years.
Mm.
being nigh destitute in my own apartment.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
I don't.
Yeah, the money thing's tricky, I'm told. But that's just another thing to deal with. Okay, excellent. So let's see. Checks his watch and kind of has to it's one of those e-watches and scrolls through a few different time zones, and then let's see. Paris is 5 hours behind us. Oh, my eyes
That
messed
would be ahead.
ahead.
And
Oh,
actually, no, Paris is 6 or 7. I think it's 6. I think they're in the same time zone as London.
Yeah, but the question is, does Will know that?
Apparently not.
they're 6 hours ahead of us. That's it. Okay. Thank you, interwebs. Makes me seem okay. Do you have a fancy outfit to wear, like a suit or anything like that?
Suit. I mean, oh, wait a minute. And it's like, I think actually I never got rid of that red blazer that I got for this special thing that Tony threw. And now that your buddy did some minor work on me, I think it might actually fit. And I'm sure I have a solid color t-shirt somewhere.
All right. Nope. We're gonna have to do something about that. Okay, hang on a second. One of the barista puts a couple drinks on the counter for somebody, and Will just holds out his hands, and they're in his hands. He hands one of them to you. As I go, hang on. Right. And then suddenly you are in a different part of town. In fact, you are, as soon as you arrive in the lobby of it, you know exactly where it is. You're in the Armani store on Madison Avenue. Like, okay, let's get you a suit.
Okay.
Is next. Wait, crash. Next. All right, so Crash, you are hanging out in the neighborhood. You see Gene heading off to get some coffee, and you walk by the window. You see that he's talking to Will in there. And then Will appears to steal some coffee and then disappear with Gene, just into a cloud of, briefly living, smoking weird tendrils and other things that disappear behind him whenever he goes away. Like,
Careful, he's going to end up on the wrong side of the tracks. I'm so proud.
So otherwise, it's a lovely day. What sort of thing do you usually do with your morning?
Well, so at this point, I've probably already gotten my coffee from Sunbucks. Yeah. Oh, sure, I paid for it today. At this point, I am probably just taking a couple of quick laps around town, making sure that the hooligans aren't back, and then I'm probably going to go probably try to do some scouting out of some of the STEM office, actually, because I'm still trying. I'm still trying to pick up some information about the infiltrators or whatever. Did we ever actually get a name for the gavel people? I don't remember.
Yes, and I can't remember what it is.
Okay.
It's in my notes. Hang on a second here. Let me see if it's available quickly.
Yeah, that's a discussion for another time. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
So yes, I'm
Okay.
I'm probably skulking as close to the STEM office as I can, slightly less than reasonably get without probably being seen, because I do tend to live
So
on the edge.
STEM, of course, has a whole pile of installations around the city.
Okay.
But the main office that they have is in Manhattan. They have their own tower.
I'm actually going to be checking out some of the satellite locations,
Okay.
because
So
that's
would you
usually
like
where
to do
the
one of the
where the
ones
less than
nearby?
where the less than upstanding stuff happens.
Okay. Would you like to go one of the ones nearby your neighborhood or somewhere else in town?
Um, let's start nearby. I don't want to work any harder than I have to.
Okay. So there is in Astoria, which is, your neighborhood is really just kind of an extension of Astoria, so not that far away.
Okay.
And in fact, if you guys ever got the opportunity to beat the living crap out of depose the people who are currently the heroes of there, you could really expand your territory, and that would be a big bonus for you guys. But
Also,
they're
yeah,
kind of a
Blades in the
weird.
Dark is great.
They're like kind of a cross between a superhero team and a boy band, and you don't know if you want to get too close to them because some of that glitter might rub off on you or something.
Yeah, we can take them. I'm. If anyone can come up with something that can get rid of glitter, it will be Tink. Just say.
Very true. It may also, be a high pressure wind system that just removes the outer layer of skin, or you never know. But the glitter will be gone probably.
Is it Tink or is it Memorex?
Yes. So in Astoria, a very brief jog away from you, mere seconds if you really want to, push it.
Yeah.
They have a office that deals with there's a couple bureaucratic offices in there that you don't quite get what they do because they have weird acronyms to them. There's a boom office in there, as well as a BAM office, and of course a full installation for STEM. And one of the things that they do have there is a place where you can actually go and do things if you really want to. Is they have a small gym. And it's a special type of gym, of course, for powered people. Now, it's not the big gym in town. Once again, all of their big things are in the middle of Manhattan because, STEM has more money than just about anybody out there. Largely because, the country's most wealthy billionaire, who happens to be one of the members of the Liberty League, likes to show off his gratuitous amounts of wealth that he gets for having patents for just about everything.
Yeah. He wants a big sign in the sky with his name up. Son of a bitch.
You're surprised he has not yet had his name imprinted on the Earth-facing side of the moon. Brought to you by
Chair face. Oh wait.
Oh, nice reference. Nice reference.
Yes. So you're heading off towards the STEM office. Are you going to race over there or just kind of mosey?
I'm not going to push myself, but I am going to be speeding and phasing so that I'm a little more difficult to notice.
Okay. So you're racing along, trying to, innocuously get where you're going without wasting all afternoon dealing with the hoi polloi that are wandering the streets. Right. And something catches your attention and causes you to stop because it's a classic image you've seen dozens of times in movies. You see a ball bounce out into the middle of the avenue. And behind that ball, a child is chasing after it into traffic. And as you're, still somewhat sped up, things are moving a little slowly. You're just watching this happen. And you totally see the bus that is coming straight down the lane. You see the bus driver's eyes get as big as dinner plates. It's slamming on the brakes. And that bus is not going to stop in time for that kid.
Mm-hmm. I hate what these people have done to me. Sure. I'll tell you what. That's a nice looking basketball that kid's got there. It'd be a shame if that bus were to hit the basketball. So I'm gonna go and save the basketball. And if the kid just happens to get swept up in my wake, and get carried out of the way of the bus as well, that's not my fault.
All right. So from what anybody nearby can see, and of course there's a few people there, like one of the kids' parents, staring and screaming, "Ah!" And they get to watch this blur go past them in front of the bus and scoop up both the child and the basketball. They are, because it is so fast, they're unable to tell what order these two events take place in, which is the important thing for you, of course, but they're never going to see it. And you deposit them on the sidewalk as the bus screeches to a halt. A car almost rear ends it. Horns start blaring absolutely everywhere. And the kid looks up because kid, of course, was staring down the bus as well and had gotten that total, deer in the headlights thing.
So
And
I
looks up, oh, mister, thank you so much for saving me.
so I lean down, I get right in the kid's face. It's like, that's your one free one. Next time I bill you.
The kid looks a little perplexed. What? The bus driver slams open the door, races out. Oh my God, I thought I had killed that kid. Oh, thank you so much. Grabs your hand, starts pumping it up and down because they just watched their whole career go out the window in front of them. They would never be able to get behind the wheel of a bus again if anybody let them drive. And some parents come out from around. Oh, this is so awesome. Oh, what's your name, sir? I'm not so familiar with you.
I am getting visibly uncomfortable with this level of attention at this point. I'm called Crash.
Crash. Oh, hey, that's kind of an ironic name. Yeah, I don't think. Oh my God, you're so great. You get bear hugged by a big woman who happens to apparently be the child's mother. She just pulls your head like boom straight to her chest, practically squeezing the life out of you. Oh, thank you. As she burbles at you for saving the life of her precious child. And onto black ice. You get up in the morning. Asterisks, because morning is not necessarily an early morning thing.
Kind of a nebulous concept.
You get up, you stretch, and you're like, I should go get something to eat and some coffee before I have to deal with my aunt because she's going to want me to work today. And so you go into the kitchen and you see one of those things that just makes your heart stop momentarily. Your aunt and both of your parents are sitting at the table and they all watch you as you walk in. Hey, good morning, Miha. How are you doing?
I kind of look at them like through slitted eyes and I say, can we hold the intervention until after I've had coffee?
Your aunt gets up and pours you a cup of coffee. This is something she never does.
So now we know something.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Clunk.
All right. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. How are you feeling today?
I'm fine. Like I was yesterday and every other day you've asked me that question.
You know that we worry.
There's no need to worry, Mama.
I'm your mother. I deserve to worry. I'm allowed to. If anybody's allowed to worry, that's me. That's my job. I carried you for 9 months and had 12 hours of labor to have you. I deserve to worry about you.
Yes, Mama.
Okay, excellent. So we have a doctor's appointment this morning.
What?
Oh, we arranged a doctor's appointment for you. There's this new clinic there. It was like pulling teeth you would not believe until I started telling them that you've worked with a lot of other doctors and that you had a really interesting case. Then they looked you up in the system like, oh yes, we totally want to see her. So they were really happy about this. And so we have to, we did our best to make sure that you get the best care that you possibly can. It's a very busy doctor. and very difficult to get things. Hopefully our insurance will cover it, but they told us they'll figure that out.
We don't need to worry about insurance. Don't worry about it. But, I thought we had this conversation. I'm 18. I can handle my own doctor's appointments.
I know, but once we worry about you, and it's important that we do what we can to make sure that you're going to be okay. Because, remission doesn't mean cured, and we've had that discussion before.
Fine. What time is this appointment?
It's about an hour, so we probably should get going like in the next 10 minutes.
All
But we
right.
wanted to let you sleep in, and
Fine. Let me go get dressed for leaving the house. Hold on. Because, pajama pants and a tank top just aren't going to cut it when you're. So, all right. I go get dressed in my usual going out of the house.
so
Baggy black
do you
pants
do
and
your full
stuff.
makeup?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. So about a half hour passes, you finally saunter out in your boots, bunk, bunk. All right. Let's get going. So, because we don't want to be late. Who knows how long the line's going to be there.
All right.
And your aunt gives you a big hug before you leave the house.
What aren't you guys telling me?
What?
What the heck?
It's just stop at a new clinic. They specialize in all sorts of interesting and difficult cases, and you were a difficult case. We spent so many years with that. I just every day we're so thankful that you're doing well. And as they lead you downstairs, and they have called a taxi. Your parents never take the taxi because that costs money, and they aren't supposed to spend money you don't need to.
I give my father a long suffering look because he and I share that look that, you just let your mother deal with.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah. Poppy does that. Just.
So the three of you get into the back of the cab, and you're, of course, wedged between your parents, and your mother's kind of doing that passive aggressive kind of holding you down thing with one hand on your leg to make sure you don't run off.
I look outside to see if the birds are following.
Oh, of course they are. They are interested in what's going on here. In fact, one of them lands on top of the cab on the big advertising in use light thing, and it's just hanging out on top of there, going along for the ride because they're nothing else if not a little lazy too.
Right. That's why she likes them.
So you go across both the bridges to Manhattan and turn down along I'm trying to remember which avenue that is, the one that goes along the one side of Central Park. And you go by, and you see the Met drive by, and there's just tons of people out there looking like they're going to be actually having a good time today, unlike you, who are continuing on down past Midtown, just a little further south, and you get to the brightest, shiniest, newest building on the island of Manhattan.
You have got to be kidding me.
And it has a delightfully long title on it, which basically comes down to the new STEM experimental medical clinic.
Nope, that's it. Nope, nope, nope.
Your mother is grabbed onto your elbows, dragging you towards it. Your father's kind of nudging you along from behind.
I thought we said no more experiments.
It's not an experiment. You're just here to talk to somebody.
On the building, Mama. It's in the name of the building.
Well, they just call it the STEM clinic.
Right there.
Experimental.
Just say it.
with big shiny
See,
lights
it
behind
kind of point to it, and the bird flies over and lands on the X part. See?
Bonk, 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 bonk with his beak.
What the bird doesn't know is that the top part of the X is actually a little Jacob's ladder.
All right, let's get this over with. I've got things to do today.
Okay. So you walk into the lobby. The place is packed. It has been open, you happen to know this, for less than 24 hours at this point. And just about anybody who has ever felt weird, has an honest to goodness illness, is nearing the end of their life, is missing a limb or anything, are trying to get into this place. Because it is one of the few places in the entire country that offers honest to goodness hope for people who have absolutely no hope. People facing the most traumatizing, horrible things that they can. And your parents are dragging you ahead of line in front of all of them up to the reception desk, where one of the receptionists looks up like, oh, well, do you have your card with you? Right at you. And your parents are flanking you on either side, looking kind of,
I reach into one of the multitudinous levels of pockets in the coat, and I pull out my STEM card and hand it in while
you put your
mouthing.
thumb over the
"Help
word hero
me."
on it.
Yeah, my thumb is covering that part as I hand it over, and I'm just mouthing to the receptionist, "Help me."
Oh, that's what we're here for. She scans you in, my computer dings and lights up. I'm like, oh, okay. So first we're going to need to get you your ID. So she prints out a thing, a big band. She attaches it to your wrist, just like they do in every hospital. And you look at it, and it's your name. And there's a big H with a circle around it after your name.
I pull out a Sharpie and start doodling all over the bracelet.
All right. Well, I'll need you to go to floor 50, and that's where the special reception is. And so have a great time at the hospital. I hope we're able to help you. And it's you turn
Doubt
away.
it.
She calls next, and it's somebody hobbling along, having some horrible wasting disease that has consumed part of their skull. And there's just things exposed that really shouldn't be there. And how they're alive, you don't know. But they're showing up at the clinic today in the hopes of getting an appointment.
I think you need to take him before me.
All right, up next. So, Pa, you're in for the morning. You had a closing shift the night before at the bodega because had to do some stocking. So you've had a nice lazy morning, not a whole lot going on. And so you've decided you're going to sit around the house, bundle up, watch some TV, usual stuff you do when you don't really have a whole lot going on. And your phone rings.
Look at it, the caller ID on it before answering.
The caller ID is from Harper, one of your friends that you've grown up with. Harper is a harpy, by the way. She's half person, half bird. Not nearly as horrifying as the legends, I'll say, but she has been known that if she gets into a mood, she probably will, rip somebody's eyeballs out with her claws.
Which means I should answer. Good morning.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
It's morning. I worked all night.
So the couple of the girls and I are thinking, do you want to go out and have a girls' night tonight?
Only if you let me sleep first.
Let's see. Yeah, we wouldn't be heading out for a bit yet, because morning. So you're interested in let's say around dinner time we can go out, grab a bite, and then go hit the town, go have some fun.
Sure.
Okay,
Sleep
excellent.
now.
So you hang up your phone and you fall asleep. as one does. Because, of course, with a lot of the Adams, especially the ones who have kind of animal themes about, their mutations and stuff, they adopt a lot of the other physical traits and mannerisms of them. So you sleep a lot. Not necessarily at very long stretches at once, but you're sleeping, more often than you aren't, because that's what cats do. You happen to enjoy this a lot.
Because cat, yeah.
So you doze off, and you get up, and you make yourself a little bit of lunch, and you sit in front of the TV, and you doze off again. And you're woken up by a knock on the door.
Do that. Crack open, half crack open the one eye, just like, which I can't imitate because player is not cat. Get up, blanket wrapped around. Open the door. Yes.
And there they are, 3 of your good friends. You have Zola, the Gorgon, of course. You've known for a very, very long time, and you've been sparring partners for a very, very long time. And your friend Moon, who is kind of moth-like, she has those big fucking antennas that a Luna moth has. This kind of really weird ashy skin, a nice pair of wings, and she's also a short-range teleporter, so she's very handy to have around when you need to get around town. You can go at most like maybe a mile a hop, but she can teleport really fucking fast, so she's handy that way.
Awesome.
And Harper's there, who's the tallest of you by a good measure, kind of, gangly limbed and stuff, and walks a little funny because, once again, she has murder claws on her hands and her feet. Once again, one of those people you just, you enjoy watching people try to pick a fight with her because it never lasts very long. But all of you are like that. And so they are all dressed to the nines, like, all right, let's go. And you're still there, like, in your bathrobe, like, oh, what?
So look at the watch. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Just have a seat.
So you go and you brush out your hair.
Oh no.
Oh no.
First, I need to put on some coffee. Just a quick, quick, like half cup, just to, get me going. And so while that's brewing, quick shower because cat. Then I come back out in the robe, get the coffee, go back in to deal with the hair, the makeup, the whole bit. And every once in a while an arm sticks out of my bedroom. This shirt or this. These pants,
Yes.
Getting input.
Getting the whole thing together. So how are you going to dress for your night out?
Let's see. Black leather leggings. Aries, go lay down. Because cat.
He wants to go out too.
Yeah, apparently that's not happening. Tight black camisole. Instead of the black leather jacket, I am actually putting on and nobody in the party is ever going to see me wearing this, I hope, a black sequined little crop blazer. So not like crop, but like a shorter, short slim cut and all of that. Black heel boots with short platform, not like big honking ones, just the gold jewelry, the hair, the hair is done in a very kind of lion-like, yeah.
All right. So you're all dressed up. It's still relatively early, fortunately, but as you know, if you're hitting the town in New York, there is so much New York to hit. Not New York, Excelsior. There's so much Excelsior to hit that you could end up anywhere.
Yeah.
So the other girl's like, so where do we want to go for dinner? Italian, Chinatown. One of the fancy places in Midtown. You could really slum it and go to Brooklyn or
Sushi.
Oh, sushi.
Good sushi.
Of course. Why would we go to the bad sushi place? As unless you want to fish something out of the river, But of course you like sushi. I mean, you're a cat.
Yeah.
So they drag you out, door slams behind you, and you head out for your night on the town. So Gen X.
Yo.
You step out of the Armani store sometime later wearing a delightfully well-made suit. It's not one of their, bespoke ones, of course, because that actually takes time for someone to make, but it's kind of the, Armani equivalent of off the rack, and they've done some quick tailoring to make it fit. It actually fits marvelously well. The weird part is when it came time to pay it, your friend Will pulls out a credit card, the likes of which you haven't seen. It is made out of metal, first of all. And you think it might actually be a card printed on gold. You haven't even heard of these. But he just waves it over the thing, goes, boop, puts it back in his wallet. All right, let's go.
I look at him and go, when did you get the promotion?
Funny story about that. So
I'll bet funny.
When Will and I used to travel around, just kind of doing the backroom dealing thing, healing, kids in hospitals and stuff, we realized we needed some money to pay for like hotel rooms and other stuff, just to go about doing what we're doing and So he came up with this. Well, they came up with this clever plan to make some quick cash. So he found a couple of old billionaires and gave them an offer of making them young again in exchange for absolutely everything they owned. And so this the first taker was this one guy. He wasn't actually sick. It was his wife. Like they were in their 80s. She was suffering organ failure and had like 4 types of cancer going on. And so in exchange for curing her and youth for both of them, we got everything they owned. Absolutely everything. Now, of course, the thing is that Schiff's not a person, legally speaking, or at least wasn't then. No birth certificate, no history, nothing, no identity, because they change constantly. So all of those things were just put under my name. So in actuality, I try to, because I haven't actually had a real job since high school, but I'm actually worth a lot. It's a lot of money. I don't really like to think about it, but if you need to buy a suit, you need to buy a suit. That's just how it works. That's how life goes. I run like half the charity clinics in the city because why not?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise there's starving homeless people. Now we just have fed homeless people, and that helps out a lot. I'm trying to get some build some places to put them, but oh man, it is so hard to buy property in this city. It's insane.
I wouldn't know. Boy, Robin Leach would just have a ball of fun with you.
Oh, I'm sure. That's one of the funny things is I think, because we did this like maybe 9 or 10 times. So I think there's maybe like 4 or 5 people in the world who technically have more assets than I have, because it's all owned by shell companies and other fun stuff, and we just try to do some good with the money that we have. But really, it's specifically though, it is really Schiff's money. I'm just kind of holding it, but spend a few $1,000 on a suit, who'll notice, honestly. And Schiff doesn't really want to deal with any of the money stuff anyway. It doesn't have to now, because of course STEM's paying for everything. Life's weird sometimes, As you step out, a French woman walks up to you. And she's standing there, as many old-timey French people are, of course. She's smoking. And she walks up and she kisses Will on both cheeks, and she turns to you like, "Oh, I have been meaning to speak to you forever. Bonjour, my name is Sophie." She shakes your hand and then kisses you on both cheeks.
I've actually seen this in movies.
Oh, yes, yes. I have been living in Les États-Unis for a long time, but still deep inside, I am from my home country. And we'll be visiting there tonight. So it's been great seeing you back in action, by the way. I'm very, very happy about that. And I'm hoping that at some point we're going to get the opportunity to tangle up and have a good fight at some point.
Great. Yeah,
Oh,
that
you're
would
not
be
familiar.
fine. And my brain is just like the Rolodex is just going.
Yeah, it's going through and it's like, oh, yeah, oh, we haven't been properly introduced. I'm Lumiere. And she stands there and steps back, and then this pale light starts exuding out of her, and her eyes start glowing. And you're like, oh, her. Shit. Because, of course, Lumiere is one of the most dangerous solo supervillains out there. Fortunately, she never works with anybody else, because then she'd be really dangerous. But last time you saw, she got into a fight with the entire Liberty League and fought them to a draw. And previous to that, she fought with a couple of the members of the Liberty League and won. So, yeah, she's a tough cookie. But here she is, wearing a very, very nice dress, getting ready for a night out. Like, all right. So Will looks at his watch again. Okay. You don't have a passport or any like ID on you or anything, right?
I reached in, it's like, it transferred my wallet, right? Okay. Wait, what happened to my other clothes? I really like that jean jacket.
Oh, you have them in a bag.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. So,
And Will thinks for a second. Actually, put your wallet and your phone in the bag. And he takes the bag and it disappears. It's
Wait.
back in your apartment. Don't worry about it. Just in case we get caught, we don't want to cause too much of an international incident. As you're walking, down Madison Avenue, it's just, sometimes, foreign authorities get kind of funny about stuff and all of that. And then you are suddenly walking down the Champs-Élysées in Paris. You can tell that, you're in a different place because the sun has gone poof to another part in the sky instantly. It's getting on towards evening already. There's crowds of people talking, well, mostly French. And you just happen to be just one of the finest dressed men walking down the street. Will, mind you, is also wearing an Armani suit, which he apparently already owned. All right. So, let's see. Dinner first, right? Right. Okay. So, let's see. Hang on a second. I have to look up my notes. What was the name of that man there? There we go. Yeah, we're going to go to Josephine, just a little place, just down the way. It's a delightful restaurant, and by the way, I highly recommend getting the beef bourguignon if you haven't had it.
oh, okay.
It's just
I can't say that I have, but I've
you'll
had beef ramen recently, if that counts.
Sophie looks at you and is like, oh, I sometimes I feel sorry for you guys. There's just not much money in heroing. I hate to tell you that. I get away with the occasional jewelry heist just to pay for, my lavish lifestyle. You may want to consider trying that at some point. It's very easy to pawn very expensive things, it turns out.
I'll keep that in mind.
So you get to the restaurant, and Will walks up to the maitre d', just looks at the maitre d', who's like, oh, would you like your table, sir? Oh, certainly, please. There'll be 3 of us this evening. Of course, you are ushered in to one of the most exclusive restaurants in the entire city of Paris. There's a line of people out there who are saying some things that you think may not be the kindest things if you may not understand French, but you understand some of the gestures that are tending to come in your way. And from
I've
some
heard
very
"nerd" no fewer than 4 times.
Yes. And you're brought in, and they take you to a separate side rooms, a fairly popular thing in some of the very fancy French restaurants, where, of course, you don't have to dine amongst all of the other people around. This is a place designed for aristocracy. And so you get your own room with its table and some nice chairs around it, and bring you in, have a seat. Like, okay, well, the waiter, of course, speaks a little English and is trying to talk you guys through the menu. And Sophie, of course, just takes over. It's like, okay, yeah, he'll have the blah blah blah. Like, just go around, and you're sitting there like, this is the by far fanciest place you have ever stepped foot in. You were not prepared for this. You were wearing a jean jacket hours ago, actually minutes
And
ago.
comfortable.
Yes, you were comfortable. You do not feel comfortable right now. You were
No, I
sitting
do not.
with one of the world's most wanted criminals. All of the various and sundry types of police in the world have things up for all the supervillains, and she is one of the top people on the list for wanton mayhem, general criminality, treason, involving herself in politics around the world. Just she gets bored.
So as I'm just like, so I'm seated, the order has been made, and then you just see the pan of the 3 of us here, and then the thought balloon in the same voice as from earlier in the morning, you hear, maybe I should have just gone to the meeting.
The waiter shows up with a bottle of wine, and this is pouring it. You're noticing that there's a 19 written on the date, and the number following that is not extraordinarily high. And it's this nice red wine. And Sophie picks it up and holds it up to do a toast. Clinks glasses together. To those of us who have to suffer living with all the lowly humans. Crash! You've extricated yourself from the press of people.
Excellent.
Surrounded, because basically they got distracted by something. Just a moment,
Look, something shiny.
And then you just disappear.
Yep.
Because that's how you roll. You do not want to deal with this. So you make your way towards the STEM office. And so you've got yourself, do you plan on going in, or are you just going to like surveil it?
I'm going to start by surveilling it. If I find a relatively unprotected and what looks to be unalarmed means of ingress, then I mean, who knows where I may take myself.
You're checking the place out, and of course you see the occasional, just what looks like an average citizen, but you're fairly certain those are people who are in the same career as you, just kind of coming and going a couple times. And you, of course, see STEM agents. STEM agents are always wearing the same type of suit. You're not sure who designed this suit, but it just screams, I work for a large agency that may or may not be governmentally related. Please don't mess with me. And with a little earpiece and stuff, that innocuous bulge in the front pocket that speaks of having, it's not real. They never carry firearms. They carry just some weird tech thing like, a ranged taser stun device or some sonic thing or whatnot, as they tend to, because why would you carry a gun when you don't have to?
Yeah.
And they're coming and going. And so you're trying to innocuously watch it. You're like, okay, yeah, I think I can. And as soon as you think about walking in, a stick-like thing is put in front of your face. And you hear words that you don't want to hear. This is I'm Lisa Lovington from the Excelsior Times. Do you have time to do an interview?
In what world is that a reasonable question right
Well, you did just save some young lad's life, and everybody wants to hear about it.
now? Oh, you saw that.
You look at her, and Lisa is a very reporterly looking reporter. She's dressed up like you would kind of imagine a newspaper reporter would have dressed like back in like the 60s or 70s. So she's wearing like, the suit. It is cut for a woman and all, but definitely, harkening back to that, including the fedora with a little press thingy sticking out of it.
The internal monologue, because he's not stupid enough to say this out loud, is that I may have to kill her just on general principle.
So did you plan on involving yourself in heroism this morning, or was that just something that by the very luck of the universe that you managed to be involved in? And she's using a microphone and a tape recorder, not a cell phone like everybody else on the planet.
She's also wearing a fedora and I'm assuming a beige trench coat.
Mm-hmm. You could totally see her in an episode of Columbo.
Oh, yeah. So, Crash says this
And then one eye is slowly going the other way.
Yeah. Completely unaware of the double meaning irony of what he's saying. But, lady, does anyone ever intend to go heroing? I mean, who would schedule something like that? I suppose it just kind of happens, doesn't it? He has no concept of like how stupidly poetic he's being at the moment and how he's playing into exactly what she wants.
Yes. So you're saying that you've been destined by the fates to be a hero then?
You have a way of making that sound so amazingly unattractive.
Well, I'm not here to be attractive. I'm here to get a scoop and tell the news to the people.
I wasn't talking about you. Unappealing. Never mind. Oh. The sooner we get there, the sooner we continue with this, the sooner it's over. Go on, please.
You notice as she's interviewing you that the people coming out of the STEM office, especially the STEM agents, are paying attention to the fact that there is a throwback interviewing a person across the street in a innocuous position near the front doors. So it appears that you saved a Billy Washington who was he playing basketball?
One can only assume from the basketball that was involved. I don't tend to scope out these kind of situations beforehand.
And according to the bus driver, did you actually wink at him as you were collecting the child from in front of the bus? He said it was very fast and it's hard to tell, but we want to verify whether or not, you'd made a personal connection with one of the people you were saving in the process, because of course you kept him from accidentally becoming a killer.
If it's all the same to you, I'd like to keep that private. Personal space, you understand.
Oh, I totally understand personal space. As she takes a step closer to you and kind of looming over you a bit because you're still seated.
If I were to stand up, would I be taller? Am I taller than her if I stand up?
Yes.
I will do that. And I will actually, so I am actually trained in intimidation. And I am going to use that to try to get her to take that step right back. Thank you very much. Not saying anything, just kind of giving her the look.
Okay. So roll intimidation. Your target will be 4. She's a reporter. She's, a little tough to crack.
Minor effect.
All right, what minor effect would you like to have?
I'd like us to relocate this a little further away from the entrance to the STEM building. It's drawing a little too much attention for my taste.
Okay, so you're going to start wandering off, and she starts following
Yep.
you. All right. All right, back to Black Eyes. You were up in a room on the 50th floor.
Mhm.
Your parents are no longer in the room with you, fortunately, because, of course, you are now wearing one of those delightful hospital gowns that is leaving, the back half of you way too well ventilated. And you're wondering why at a place that they spend such a tremendous amount of money building a large tower in the middle of the island of Manhattan in one of the wealthiest cities in the entire world and one of the most advanced cities in the world, why they can't possibly get you something that will cover your butt crack all the way. So you're sitting on the thing being, delightfully comfortable at the fact that, and you're just waiting and waiting for a bit. And then you hear a knock on the door and it immediately opens again, as though, like, if you happen to be like bent over rummaging through your purse, that whoever came in would be seeing stuff because you have no time to stand up. Fortunately, you know this. You have a lot of experience with doctors.
Mhm.
In walks somebody you have seen before. It is a Persian woman dressed up in her usual medical regalia. It is Dr. Mubarak, who you've met at the coffee shop, who was hanging out with Shift. And she walks in and kind of gives a bit of a belabored sigh. All right, looks at you and smiles. Oh, so what brings you in today?
My parents.
Checks her chart. Oh, I. They don't know, do they?
No.
What you do?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. Yeah, we noticed that because they requested an appointment for you, and the way this place works, like if a hero needs medical attention, just come on in. We take care of it quickly. Bad things happen to you guys sometimes, So trust me, I've had to fix more than my share. That's how I got this gig, babysitting a power instead of, practicing proper medicine most of the time. So let's see. Let me look at your chart. Oh, what the hell did they do to you?
Over and over again.
She takes out a thermometer, holds it in front of your face, and plunks it into your mouth. And it sits there and, doing its magic. And then she pulls it out. Looks. Sometimes I don't like asking this question because it's kind of inappropriate, I guess. But how are you alive? You're like, you're not at corpse temperature, but you are kind of below room temperature, and I'm trying to figure out how that works.
Not-
Oop,
I
up
just
there.
live in this body.
That was some weird treatment they gave you. I don't even know how that actually worked. I bet that doctor
Mhm.
was a UT or something and didn't know it.
You
Oh, Ultratech. Ultra technicians have this weird ability where they make technology work in a way that technology is not allowed to work according to
yeah. I'm
physics.
familiar.
And so they did something that if any other person operated that machine, it would have killed you.
Yeah, is like that. So yeah, I get it.
Okay. Well, since you're here, would you like to meet with Shift? See if they can
No,
do anything for you?
no, the guy creeps me the fuck out. Thank you.
Not guy, them. They're not a guy today.
Okay. They creep me the fuck out. Thank you very
Okay, I understand that. Yes, Schiff's what's the right word for that? A sociopath, but a good kind of sociopath for the most part. Does nice things for people,
uh
whether they want to.
Without asking, man, they don't believe in consent. Thank you.
Oh no, they. Well,
I
okay,
rest my
true.
case.
But on the other hand, they're probably the only person who can help you with your condition if you want any help with it.
I thought, okay, not you, but your profession said I was in remission.
Yes. And once again, like I would like some more information on that, just to kind of better understand your case as to what happened. Because let's face it, you had a spectacular, virulent, and lethal form of cancer. I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
that you're alive is an utter miracle. And I would like to better understand what happened so maybe we could make use of that. The whole purpose of this clinic is to try to save as many people as we can. Like right now, uh, we're working on some research to, as Schiff says, cure heart disease. Not just, be able to fix it or do a better job of repairing people. No, like just get rid of it. Just as a thing that doesn't exist in the world. And they might just be able to do it. So I know this is a big thing to ask, but could you possibly talk to them so they can report to, what's happened with the cancer cells in your body and why you are the way you are, so we can hopefully use that to help other people who are in a similar situation to you or when you were young.
I'll agree to it if I can put on clothes. Is not cutting it.
Oh, I don't know why they make people wear those things. They just under no circumstances require that. They just need to touch some part of you, like your hand. It doesn't matter. It's just a physical contact somewhere is just, seems to be the limit. They don't have very good range as a scion goes. But other than that, yeah, just clothes
Okay, if it will
very much fine.
Sooner and let me put clothes back on, then fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you like it'll take them about maybe about 10 minutes to get down here, and I will be here the whole time. I I kind of have three main jobs in life. One is to screen through the patients coming through to see who needs special care and who needs, like some stitches. And also to I kind of head up the research and make sure that, we gather as much data for the numerous doctors and scientists inside of this building. And the last thing is to keep an eye on Shift, because Shift does indeed occasionally do some spectacularly weird and
Creepy.
inappropriate things.
Creepy.
Well, yes. I mean, and you know what Shift's power is, right? All they're really doing is shape-shifting other people. Like Shift can change form into anything and can change any other person into anything, and it's permanent. It's horrifying when you think about this. Like, that Shift is not a villain is probably a really good thing for the world, but I'm working with somebody who has the mindset of a worse than a serial, like Nazi doctor kind of comes to mind, but with a lot less death involved. But yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good reference for me, by the way.
No, no, I understand. Just just that it's basically if we, gotten one of them and kind of got them pointed in a more useful direction than like murdering twins or something like that. So, but yes, definitely get dressed. Just just leave enough, bare skin, like your face will work. Just poke you in the forehead if you want, and if they want, that's anything will work. So just get dressed, and we'll get them in and just take a look at you, and hopefully, we'll learn some good things for your trouble, and we will definitely not tell anything to your parents because you're a grown-ass adult, and we don't have to.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Pa,
Yes.
you were out at a absolutely delightful sushi joint out in Midtown. It's, this pretty dark restaurant, and seeing as, the sun has just gone down, it's, fortunate, because if it were the middle of the day, you'd walk out of here and be blinded. Some good music going on, tons of people, and you, of course, you guys managed to get yourselves a table pretty quickly, because there's one principle you've always learned, having grown up in the Adam family, is people will either try to get rid of you, or they will try not to upset you, because nothing is worse than an angry Adam inside of your establishment, because y'all cause problems.
I give Harper a side eye.
She's just is kind of standing there, with her hands up in her claws, looking around. She's not like the most socially adept person amongst your friends, but she is a solid person, and she's a lot of fun when she gets drunk. And you sit down, and you have a choice of just all sorts of crazy ass sushi things. And Zola's looking at the menu. Has anybody had an enemy here? I haven't tried that, but I don't know if I'm gonna like it.
Try it. If you don't like it, then you can always pass it around and somebody else can try it.
True. Yeah, I can. So as you guys are sitting there looking through the menu, a couple of guys wearing what can only best be said is frat boy chic walk over the table to have a chat with you. Hey, ladies, how you doing tonight? Like, you haven't even started drinking yet.
Sorry. Can we help you?
Oh, so we're having a party out at our place tonight. My dad owns a dealership. He's really rich. I'm going to inherit that someday. But anyway, by the way, these are the two guys from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So yeah, like, do you want to like hang out with us? We're gonna have a wonderful time, and we like your type of people. Yeah, we hear you're all crazy.
We'll consider it.
Zola's looking at them as though she's trying to calculate how much of the one skin she can remove before the police show up.
Dinner first, and then we will consider
Dessert.
Yeah. I hold out one paw. Location, write it down for me. We might show up, we might not. We'll discuss it after dinner.
All right, yeah. They high five each other, and then the one holds out their hand to put the stuff into your phone for you.
No. Write it down on a piece of paper like a civilized human being.
So the one wanders off and then returns a while later with a bar coaster with some scrawl on it. The ink is kind of feathered out because bar coasters famously, are terribly absorbent.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Hopefully, we'll look forward to seeing you tonight. We're going to show you a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of giggle to each other and head off back to their table.
Coaster down. Look at it. Well, ladies.
Moon looks at it and says, well, on a good side, this 100% gives us the opportunity to go over and totally fuck some people up if we really want to. And it's practically an invitation to, like, go and, I don't know, maybe punch somebody's lights out. I kind of look forward to that.
Thinking that shouldn't be the first stop of the night, though. I'm thinking, we need to go someplace else first. Then we can go.
Harper looks over.
See what's going on with that, and then maybe someplace else, to wrap things up.
Harper looks over at Moon. You used to be the sweetest one of us. What the hell happened to you anyway? What? Who doesn't like to punch somebody out every once in a while? Ugh. And besides, frat boys can be fun to be done. So your drinks show up, and they are absolutely ridiculous in proportion, of course, because they're very large, very colorful, have fruit and other shit hanging out of them. Because it's girls' night, so you're gonna have to drink some girls' night drinks.
Yeah, pink umbrellas, extra little bits of fruit.
All of that good stuff.
Yeah, I pulled the pieces of like pineapple and whatever else off, and just I put them on a little side plate. It's like, here. Yeah.
All right. So, Gen X, you finish your
Hi.
meal in the fanciest fucking restaurant you've ever eaten. And so the meal that you got was absolutely, by far, makes everything else that you've eaten in the past year just seem like garbage. This beautifully slow roasted beef done in like a deep red wine sauce with all these vegetables and stuff. And you're just amazed that people eat this all the time and not, like a packet of ramen, or, sometimes you splurge and get some mac and cheese. And it's just, ooh. And then dessert comes along, and it's some very delicate pastry that, tastes like just happiness happening in your mouth while you're eating. And the entire time, of course, Sophie and Will are talking about all the fun things that they like to do, which for Will is just hanging out and, trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life, and he hasn't quite come to a decision about that. And Sophie is talking about this plan she has about a thing that's going on in the Met before too long. The Met Gala was a couple months ago, and but there's another big thing happening a little later in the summer that she's really, really wanting to do something about, because she's pretty certain a lot of bigwigs are going to be there with a lot of money, and she just really likes the idea of perhaps frightening every single one of them, and maybe stealing a Grecian statue or something like that. And Will kind of looks at his plate when he's done. He's like, So I got a question for you. So if you had a preference, would you like to go to the oldest inn in the universe for a nightcap, or would you like to go to a place no human being has ever set foot?
Do you actually spend time in the evenings thinking about these questions?
Oh, no, these are places I go all the time. I'm just wondering if you're interested in going to one of them. There's some really cool places out there in the universe. Like, I can't express to you how sad it is that humanity is kind of stuck on their rock here. It's a very good rock, mind you. I no problem with that. But Nebula has shown me just there's so many amazing things out there that well, except for a couple of us, there's just no way to get to. It's a big place out there. And the universe is even bigger than you think it is. That's the best part. Way bigger.
I try not to think about that. Got some other things on my mind.
And when this universe just peters out and experiences this heat, there's other ones happening. Things just being born now. It's amazing. Although the thing is, you may very well be around for it. That's the best part. Because we all got that thing in common. That connection that we have, it's kind of permanent.
Yeah, I never was told that there was an expiration date or an eviction notice that I could impose.
Sometimes when the host body dies, the connection's lost, but with the older ones like we have, we're kind of in there always. Like I can actually feel some of the previous entities that have been part of this. It's kind of crazy. Yes, hear voices sometimes. And Sophie looks over like, yeah, that's gonna happen. I'm sorry about that. But so which do you prefer? Just strange alien environment or the oldest inn in the universe? It's a very important place few people get to.
Seeing how much my mind has already been blown in the last 3.5 hours, we're going to go for what is hopefully has a fragment of the familiar and have some place that has alcohol, another place that has alcohol. So
Oh,
we'll
okay.
try the oldest in the universe.
Oh, excellent. And Sophie perks up. Oh, great. He hasn't taken me there yet. He mentioned it last time, but yeah, I remember it sort of, at least, my alien remembers it, but I've never been. So I hope that, it's as good as I've heard. And Will looks around. All right, well, stands up. Okay. We're going to have to do this, I guess. Reaches into his wallet, pulls out a stack of euros, just drops them onto the table. All right. They generally don't like me to pay because I did a solid for the owner a while ago. Had a very, very sick daughter. But I like to tip the wait staff because, want them to treat us nice. So, okay, well, let's all get going.
And I just think to myself, it's a good thing all this money hasn't changed the guy.
Oh, by the way, do you have any problem with cats?
No.
Okay.
No, I do not.
Good. Where we're
I
going,
think Paul would kill me if I did.
there's one rule. There's one very big rule. Don't hurt the cats, whatever you do. It's important. Trust me on
No
this.
intention of hurting the kitties.
Wait, did you
I'm a
say
fan of the
hurt
kitties.
or heard?
Hurt.
Okay.
All right.
Not that it makes any much difference in the end, but I just wanted to know.
All right. Kind of stretches. This one's a little more difficult. Hang on. Thinks for a second. You're kind of watching him concentrate, and then you're in a different place. You're standing at this very ancient-looking street made out of, raw stones. A hill ascends in front of you in the weirdest city you've ever seen. It's all like, it's not really what you would call a city, because it's all these very low stone structures that look kind of haphazard and very, very worn by who knows how many countless years. And everywhere you look, there's little glowy pairs of eyes looking from around the corners, the aforementioned cats you imagine. The sky is not the sky you've ever seen before. Above you, you don't have stars or anything. You have this strange whirling vortex just slowly moving. And the other two look up at it, and then look at you, and then look back up at it. And you see this kind of really crazy, crazy thing happening that just bothers you to some very deep personal level. Is that while you're there, you notice that Sophie has started doing her glow again, pale light around her. And you see that around Will, that darkness that always, kind of springs up whenever he does his teleportation is kind of persisting around him, but kind of is like these weird tentacles just kind of floating in the air. And, a couple spheres kind of manifesting around and floating around him and then disappearing again. You, on the other hand, something is happening and you don't like it. Because there's that kind of like sickly, toxic darkness that your power looks like these days. Kind of a pale version of that rises as a single column straight up into the heavens, into the whirling vortex above you. And you don't feel anything coming from it, but it's like you're tethered to whatever that thing is.
Worst umbilical cord ever.
And Sophie kind of claps you on the back and says, "Oh, you're a way more important person than you think you are. Just don't worry about that." So let's get ourselves a drink. So which hovel is the inn? Oh, it's at the top of the hill. It's the most important place in the universe, trust me. And they lead you up the weird hill that it takes you longer to climb up there than you think it does based on how far away it is, but distance seems to not work correctly here. Like some of the buildings are going past as you're walking past, the ones on the other side aren't. They're just kind of staying put. And you're kind of feeling kind of weird, and that thing is happening above you, and you hear this distant kind of high-pitched keening every once in a while that you're not quite sure where it's coming from or whatnot, but to your human self, it sounds really, really weird and awful.
I
Crash.
should have known. He said he said universe and not world.
Crash.
Yes, sir.
You finally managed to answer a bunch of questions, and she scurries off a bit and then turns around, picks up one of those old style cameras, takes a picture of you with this big flash when you're not expecting it to happen. So you're sure that's going to turn out wonderfully. And then she disappears. Meanwhile, you notice that there are a couple STEM agents just kind of innocuously standing, one across the street and one's on the other side down over there, just kind of keeping an eye on you.
This is very distinctly not looking at me.
Yes. Like one's reading a newspaper that is so yellowed it may very well be from the 80s. Real smooth on there.
Yeah, I saunter over to them. I saunter over to the one reading the newspaper, kind of, bend it down from the other side. Can I help you?
Oh, we're just keeping an eye on Lisa. She's a little prying sometimes into affairs that don't generally, have anything to do with the general populace. I'm sorry that she was interested in you all of a sudden. That's unfortunate.
Don't say.
Yeah. So as a general rule, if you want any press coverage, you can talk to our press office and we'll arrange things a bit better. We didn't know that you were going to be up to anything today. Otherwise, we would have made some arrangements. But it's good on you for saving that kid. By the way, that was pretty solid.
You look like a pretty sharp tack. Certainly better than your partner over there. So let me ask you this. Did I sound for a moment like I wanted press coverage?
Oh no. But you got it. Unfortunately, you see, our fine nation believes in freedom of the press, and we can't really stop that. It's kind of that First Amendment thing, and yeah, it's tricky sometimes.
Darn laws.
I mean, let's face it, like Ace on the regular has somebody trying to take a picture of her butt like every day. I can't express how difficult it is to stop that from happening. Like so many tabloid people, just so many.
So I lean pretty close to this person and say, between you and me, I can't really blame them.
Well, she is very nice looking, but on the other hand, she's just not interested, really. Like I don't think there's a person on the planet who could really get her to go on a date. They don't seem to get
a date.
Although if you do want some good pictures, I hear there's this troll somewhere who actually has some good photos of her. I don't know what to take him to part with him, but
Again, you don't say.
On the other hand, Eidolon, like there are pictures of his junk everywhere because that robe does not close all the way. Like, oh man.
No.
He thinks he's like living in Rome or something, and he'll sit in a meeting and just like, dude, just close the pressure legs, the ankle or something. Oh God, the worst.
And you know what they both have in common? If you've got it, flaunt it.
Fair enough. I mean, who's going to stop him from walking around with his junk out?
So now that she's otherwise occupied, I assume you and your friend will be returning to your regular duties, which would be...
Oh, it's a STEM business. So right now, I'm talking to you, so we got that going on.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, after that, I have to go put some kittens in a tree because some hero needs to remove them, and they don't always want to go up there on their own. It's a tough job sometimes, I can't tell you. But if you need anything, just let me know.
keep that in mind.
Oh, look, Springsteen's playing the garden 40 years ago. Folds up his paper.
I will do the overly exaggerated, innocent walking away while whistling with my hands in my pockets.
Where are you heading to next?
So you said there's boom and there's bam and there's stem.
Yes.
Is there dart? Do you remember dart?
I'm trying to remember which one Dart is.
Dart is the agency that had the scientific lab that I broke into with the hooligans that had that ended up with the explosion that gave me my powers.
Right. There is not a Dart office in this location, but you think you might be able to figure out where Dart locations are at this location. Because the STEM office, since they're the head administrators, they should have something. If you sneak in, you might be able to get some information out of their computers.
I like this plan. I'm happy to be a part of it. Let's action that shit.
All right. So you slip in.
Yep.
Nice and innocuous like. And once you've walked in, you see this really interesting thing that the security becomes very lax very quickly. All the security is focused on keeping people from walking in the door. Once you get in the door, there's practically nothing. There's no agents patrolling the hallways or anything. People are just kind of wandering around like, a couple of the folks from Boom are walking in their lab coats. One of them has his big Halliburton case with the letters written across it, warning, do not jostle, drop, bump into, or look at funny. And they walk by and you just see him kind of sway the thing away from you. Just careful.
I am absolutely walking through that place, like acting as if there's no reason why I shouldn't be there.
All right. So you go into the STEM offices, and it's like any place. It's a warren of conference rooms, cubicles, open area workspace where various and sundry STEM agents, largely wearing the same thing, are just going about their business, along with other people just kind of wandering through, going in and out of meetings and stuff.
It really is scum and villainy. Okay.
So you're going to find just some random terminal or something to go to, or try to find a quiet space.
Are there terminals or some kind of access something in the meeting rooms?
Yes. In the meeting rooms, you have the usual like computer with the projector for the screen and a whole bunch of network jacks, and of course the Wi-Fi inside of the place if you happen to have a device on you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go into one of the meeting rooms. Again, look for all the world like there's no reason why I shouldn't be there, and see what I can find.
Okay, so you pull it up and you get onto the intranet for STEM. And this is a bit different than the one that you get to see on your phone or on your own computer. You have some access to their stuff, of course. It's, any person who's registered has some things they can see, and then there's this new stuff that appeared when you signed on to onto the team. This has a lot more.
Okay.
You're going through and like facilities, map, Dart. So you hit that, and up comes a map of the country. It's a big map, and there's dots fucking everywhere. Okay, so scroll over and zoom in on Excelsior, because why look at places where you don't know?
Yeah.
And there you go. There's a few places here and there. Okay. And as you go in, you see one of the most fascinating things on the map, which is the installation where it all happened.
Mm-hmm.
Has an icon for Dart with an X through it. It's not the only one of its ilk on the map, mind you. But, you didn't really notice this until you zoomed in to actually see that. We were like, oh. And according to the legend, it is listed as disused.
So I'm gonna be taking some screenshots of this shit. I would like to have a record of basically the location of every DART facility, used or otherwise, in the Excelsior metro area.
Excellent. You go down, you're like clicking on each of the things so the address pops up, and you print them out. There's a little printer there, it comes to life, spits out some paper, and it said the weirdest thing, nobody seems to be paying attention to you.
I am at the same time completely okay with that and completely unnerved. But sure, I'll go with it. After all, I'm a hero. I'm supposed to be here.
All right. So black ice.
Yo.
So you're sitting there just swinging your boots back and forth as you sit on the edge of the exam table. And the door opens again, and in comes Dr. Mubarak with who you would only presume as Shift, who is today looks like a middle-aged Latina woman. Wanders in. Oh, hey, I've been wanting to talk to you. I'm so glad that we've had the chance to meet. Is your friend Jean doing all right these days?
Yeah, to my knowledge, he is.
Okay, excellent. He had some back problems, and just that irks me. You can't be
Well,
a hero.
he is old.
Was old. Now he's just kind of back to, young middle age, I think. Trying to remember where I said him. But anywho, so we're here about what was that? And the doctor rattles off the proper name for the cancer that you had. Oh, right. Yeah, the freeze cancer stuff, right? So do you mind if I check you out?
I hold my hand out because I'd rather them not touch their part of me.
So they touch your fingers to your palm, and you the world around you kind of gets a little fuzzy as they're doing their work, and you see Shift going, oh, what the hell does that work? So here's an interesting bit that, do you know where your powers come from?
No.
This is really fascinating. The treatment, see, the cancer cells are still there, and that's what's causing your power to happen. The treatment is centered on them, and they're causing the rest of the cold effect. So like if anybody actually cured you of your cancer, your powers would drop. Oh, that's weird. Of course, we don't do that. I don't take anybody's powers away. That's just cruel. If somebody's enough of an asshole, I'll just kill him. Yeah. But okay. Oh, that is really interesting. So, although the rest of your immune system isn't working right either, though. Do you get colds a lot or something?
No.
Oh, okay, that's
I
good.
get cold, but not colds. Like
Yeah, no, that's gonna happen. Just basically the mechanism that the cells are like pulling the heat away from you and transforming it into something. I'm not quite sure. I guess it's whatever keeping you from dying of illness or whatnot. So that's really fascinating.
They still touching me, by the way?
Yes. Yeah, the whole time
I want to actually activate my frost touch just to fuck with them.
So Shift's like, ooh, huh. And you notice that Shift's fingers start turning blue and like ice is forming around, like, that's fascinating. Yeah, but yeah, it's your immune system's kind of weird. Hang on a second. Okay, there we go. No, that's better. So do you does the cold bother you all the time?
I am always cold.
Oh. That bothers you, I take it?
I am always old.
Oh. Hang on a second. Rejigger your nervous system. Don't worry. I'm not doing the whole nervous system, not the central part. Well, I could if you want.
And I give a look to the doctor going, This is freaking me out.
And all of a sudden, you aren't cold anymore.
What the fuck?
And then Shift kind of pulls, and your hand kind of comes along, then eventually looks at the hand, clenches the fist. The fingers fold into the fist, and new fingers pop out. Ah, there we go. Now that was weird. So that feel better?
Yeah. The fuck did you do to me?
Oh, well, since you have a different temperature regulation system than a normal person has, because your metabolic temperature is constantly being consumed by the cancer cells in order to power you, I kind of adjusted that a little bit so your body still behaves correctly with the outside environment, so you don't feel cold. It just so your metabolism is a little higher. You may need to eat more.
Mm-hmm.
So pay attention to that, but you'll get hungry like people do. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Human bodies are weird. Not that I don't have one, but you know how it goes. But yeah. But yeah, the cold thing, don't worry about it. You should be all right. And also with heat, if you start overheating from the sun around, it'll just ramp up the cold thing. So it's just fix the mechanism that's supposed to be doing that. Whoever caused that to happen didn't quite understand the ins and outs. I have no idea how they made the cancer cells do that, though. That is absolutely fascinating. But they are not spreading crazy anymore. They reproduce kind of like normal cells. So that's good. That is weird. Huh. Did you get the name of the doctor who did that?
I saw so many doctors when I was a kid. They all kind of blur together.
I'll have to do some research on that person. That is, I don't mean to say this in a bad way, but that is really fucked up what happened to you. I mean, damn.
Try living with it.
Oh, trust me, I know what it's like to live with weird things.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, like every once in a while, my body does things I don't want it to. Oh God, it's the worst. Like sometimes when I get spooked or whatnot, like spikes grow out of me, and it's my bones breaking apart and spreading out through my skin. Oh, it's so cool.
My eyes go to the doctor going, getting creepy. Without saying, getting creepy.
and she puts a hand on their shoulder and says, okay, we do have a lot of other patients to see today. She's like, oh, right. Okay, well, make sure I get lots of notes on this. And yeah. We'll have to make a follow-up visit at some point, like another year, just to see how the things are working and all of that. And of course, like if you end up getting shot in like, a mission or something like that and you need an arm stitched back on, just stop on by. We'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Did I hear that somebody's like missing half their face due to some wasting disease? And the doctor's like,
but you should go see
yes,
them.
yeah, they're 2 doors down. It's horrifying. Maybe you could fix them. That would probably help them a lot. I bet they'll be really glad that you did that. All right. Well, thanks for coming by. It's great talking to you. So like, have a good day. And wanders off. You're just sitting there.
And I had screw the fear grin that's been on my face since they walked in.
Fucking weirdo that guy is. Okay, yeah. So, but you're sitting there like you're just not cold, and you don't know how to deal with that.
Wow, weird. I actually take my fingerless gloves off and put them in my pockets.
Wow, you could almost go out without your coat on. Almost.
That ain't gonna happen.
Coat on. Interestingly, you don't feel too warm wearing the coat either. You're just kind of feeling comfortable. Like you haven't felt, like comfortable with the air around you in a very long time. So as you wander out, your parents look at you like really questioning, like wondering if everything's okay. And
I just kind of shrug and walk out the door. Or to the elevator, at least.
All right, next, Paw.
Yes.
So you find yourself in another club several hours later. The whole crew of you have done a fairly good job of getting pretty blotto, which is difficult seeing as you especially have, kind of a pretty accelerated healing and are pretty tough cookies. You have to drink a lot to really get drunk.
And we're out on the dance floor dancing, and that's burning off the calories in the alcohol and stuff. So it's no.
Yeah, and the four of you, of course, are like dominating the middle of the dance floor. People keep trying to come up. Every once in a while, like some creepy guy will come up and will end up getting bitten by Zola's hair. Like, oh God, oh! And it starts swelling up really badly. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Don't piss the hair off, man. So, Harper looks over. So where do we want to go next? I mean, this has been a great night, but I don't want to wrap it up yet.
Well, do you guys still want to go and check out that frat party?
Oh yeah. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, let's totally. So, where's the address?
I pull out the coaster and I hand it to Moon.
So Moon looks at it like, huh. Yeah, it's just a couple jumps. We could totally make it there. All right, this will be fun. Hang on a second. She pulls out her phone and she checks the address and checks it on her map. Okay. Here to here, and then here to here. And all right, we got this. All right. And she's kind of drunk. And so you're a little worried about how well she's going to be able to teleport while she's, been drinking all night. She's kind of a lightweight. She's not the biggest of you guys. So she once again stretches up, flaps her wings.
Everybody hold hands. Nobody leaves the club unless everybody's, together.
So, and then in a few snapshots, because of course she teleports very differently than Will does, you're down the block on a street corner, and then another thing, you're standing on top of a roof, and boom, you've hopped on your halfway on across a bridge in the middle of traffic, as like cars are like not too close, but they're starting like whoop, whoop. And then next thing you know, you're in front of a house out in the Bronx. So strangely enough, not incredibly far from where you guys from the compound where you guys live, because of course the Bronx is dominated by the big thing in the middle of it, the Citadel. So you're in front of a house. There's a lot of loud music. There's some frat boy throwing up all over the place on some bushes off to the side.
Lightweights.
And you're looking at, yeah, the frat party. It's definitely a frat party.
Do the, after you.
So you all walk in, and the first thing you notice is the absolute shock and surprise on the part of the two people who invited you that you actually showed up. They were not expecting this. Oh, hey, babes, how you doing? It's so great to see you. They have also been drinking. They do not have your fortitude. They're not doing very well at this. So what can we get you? Do you want some brewskis?
Sure.
So they come and they get you some drinks, and you see all the guys in there who are not in the middle of snogging with some woman are all kind of watching you guys expectantly as they hand you the drinks. And you pick it up to your nose, you smell something funny about it.
Really, boys? Really? You're trying to roofie us. You do realize that I have heightened senses, which includes smell and taste, which means I can taste the drugs in it.
What? No, we aren't trying to do anything. It's foreign beer. You see the side of the keg, it says Genesee Cream Ale.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's stalk up to the one, grab him by the scruff of the neck, pick him up just a little bit, not like pick him up, but enough that he's kind of having to kind of balance on the balls of his feet. And so what made you think this was a good idea? And how many other women have you given this drug to just tonight?
You smell a peculiar odor coming off of him as he's kind of lost control over his bladder.
I redirect his body so that I don't get any backsplash on me.
And the other girls kind of look at each other. You know what this means?
This means that they need to be taught a lesson how to
They
act
need to be
like
taught a
proper
lesson.
young gentlemen who do not roofie the people that they have invited to their parties.
You were going to say, we found a new cat toy, but
That too.
All right. So Gen X, you are sitting in a very, very old building full of these long tables. The only light comes from some firelight from a big fireplace that's right in the middle and just shooting smoke up into a hole in the roof. There's a couple lamps here and there. You walk in, and standing at the bar is a kind of hunched over, kind of weird looking figure wearing this big robe with a cowl all the way over down its face. And as you walk in, everybody parts away from you guys. Like, oh, like trouble just walked into the joint. And you're like, so do they have bar snacks in here? Or
I'm looking pretzels. We talking cheese fries.
So you guys walk up to the bar, and the bartender kind of looks up a bit, and you see a little bit of the face that's underneath it, and it's not human. You're not quite sure what it is, but it's changing a bit as you go. Like they're made out of like a big wad of tar or something, and it's just kind of shifting underneath their skin. Like, and he looks at the group of you and then looks at you like, oh, I haven't seen you here in a very long time, sir.
Not as long as I haven't seen me here.
Oh, not your current form, but we know you.
You, me, you, or we, you. What? How many yous are there?
Lumiere looks over at you and says, oh, he can see the real you.
The real me.
He's an interesting character. He's one of the oldest people in the world, in the whole universe. He's been around for a very, very long time. So, what can I get for you? It's on the house, of course. You are, after all, the first creature to step out of the heavens. And the other two look at you, kind of impressed. Like,
The first creature
yes.
to
The most
step out of
ancient of
the
ancients.
heavens.
You aren't the oldest created, but you're the first one to come here.
And it is at that moment that we just decide to embrace it and run. Then my good looks up, looks down, looks up. Barkeep. What is your oldest and finest elixir that you might offer?
How about some Kandarian brandy? Is our most expensive drink that we have. Turns around, pulls off the shelf this big stone jar with looks kind of like a giant claw, stuffing it, pulls a goblet, puts it up on the thing, starts pouring it out. Mist is coming out as it's pouring. Gives you an extra big amount. Sit under. And what would the others like? And the others order their drinks, and Lumiere seems to have a good idea of what she wants, and Will's like, I think I'll get my regular. Yeah.
Look over. It's
And
like, of
and
course
you're
he's
looking
got
at
a
this.
regular.
This is this very dark red liqueur that's like it's kind of outgassing something and moving under its own. Dink, puts an umbrella. And the barkeep, after he's delivered up the other drinks, and you're kind of looking at yours suspiciously.
Hold on, wait a minute. Nah. Uh-huh. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking to see is like, should I do any type of like looking into stuff? And I was like, you know what? No. We have transcended beyond.
So you take a sniff of it. It doesn't smell bad or anything.
I mean, it
Doesn't
is
smell-
brandy, so
Yeah, it doesn't smell like spectacularly boozy, but on the other hand, it's seems to, be in the alcoholic drink realm of things. So you gonna try it?
I look over at the other two having their drinks and decide to take I don't shoot it because that would be wrong. But just like with the wine, I treat it like the wine that I had at dinner, and I take a sip.
So you take a sip of it, you feel it roll into your mouth, and it's just this really has a very large bouquet to it. It's beautiful taste. You're like, wow. You can't even tell what most of the tastes are. As you're leaning back and you close your eyes and you realize that you're still seeing things, but not through your own eyes. And then you feel like kind of, you've drifted out of your body and you're traveling up and you're like, that usually doesn't happen when you have a drink. And you're feeling pulled up higher and higher towards the swirling vortex that is above. And you're starting to hear more and more of the strange keening noise. And it's this mad music you can't make sense of whether it's one sound or 1,000 sounds, and if there's a beat or a rhythm to it. It seems to have it, but not at the same time.
Oh, you mean like King Crimson?
Yes, very much. It's like, imagine like, you're drinking at your first like college party and somebody starts blaring King Crimson around 2 a.m. and you're under no circumstances prepared for what's happening. It's like Adrian Ballou and his 4 arms, apparently, how he plays that damn thing.
Yeah.
And so you ascend higher and higher, and you're starting to hear voices. And eventually you get up till you're looking right at the pinnacle of the vortex swimming around you. You're like, oh, wow. And then the vortex looks at you. You feel its attention centered upon you. And you hear the words, "Ah, my messenger, you've returned." All right, let's see. Up next, Crash.
I love this. It's a whole evening of cliffhangers. This is great.
So, Crash, you have in your hot little hand
Yes.
a whole bunch of papers printed out of the office printer. You walk
Sure.
out.
Not sure when the last time was
Nobody
I actually held
stops
this much
you.
physical paper in my hands.
Nobody looks at you. Do you like grab a manila folder on your way out?
Sure.
A bunch of the desks have stuff like this. You're like, well, there's actually like paperwork in this place. Although almost everybody's wandering around with like a laptop or a tablet of some sort. Like, there's paper happening. So you slam them in there and
No wonder nobody knows what they're doing.
you're wandering out. And as you get to the front door, one of the STEM agents at the front opens it kindly for you and says, have a good day. As you wander off.
I actually have to stop myself from sneaking past him.
You're like, have a good day. You're still like,
Yeah, it's like
so where are you going to head with your handful of new information?
You get about the first 2 notes of the Looney Tunes xylophone, and then it hits the wrong note. I want to go back to the one where it happened and find out what they mean by disused.
All right. How much more time do we have tonight?
It is 10 minutes. It is 7 minutes after 10. We've been going for just about 2 hours, but if people are up
Okay.
for going a little later, I'd love to hear the ends of these.
Oh, don't worry. They're all going to end on cliffhangers.
Okay.
Because that's how we roll. All right. So are you going to get yourself geared up to head over there, or are you just going to head off as you are?
I mean, I pretty much have all my stuff on me anyway.
All right.
So
you fold up your papers and put them into one of your numerous pockets
Yeah.
where you store shit when you steal it. As though you may be doing the heroing gig, you haven't replaced all of your outfits yet.
Yeah. Why would I?
And let's face it, pockets are useful.
Yeah. They still
you
don't
head
pay me
off.
enough.
So let's see. Where should we put this place? I think on the southern part of Brooklyn sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
So you head off in that general direction. Are you going to take transport or just jog over?
Just gonna go.
Okay. So you zip across the bridge, head back across Brooklyn, which is, it's not as fancy as the island of Manhattan is, but it is definitely built up a lot since the old days.
Yeah.
It's, the second fanciest place in the city, of course.
Just ask
Where
anyone who
everybody
lives there,
lives
they'll
when
tell
they
you.
can't afford to live in Manhattan, which is just about everybody right now.
Right.
So you get into a businessy area, and it turns into a bit more of an industrial type of place. And as you cruise along, you get to the address, you slow down, and you see, first of all, that the entire place is surrounded with a very, very tall chain link fence, which of course will do somewhere between jack and shit in stopping you getting through it. Because, these days you could just run through it.
Not quite yet. I don't have that ability yet, but yeah.
You're getting there, though.
I can certainly find my way around it.
Yeah, well, yes.
So I will do that thing.
So you get closer to the building, and the building looks like it's seen better days, of course. What had happened there did a lot of damage to the building, and they have not repaired it.
Okay.
So you get closer, and you're skulking up, and you're looking around. You don't see any cameras or any other, surveillance devices around, at least that you can spot. So it looks like it may actually just be an abandoned location.
Yeah, because there were certainly those things when I was breaking in, when I was working with the hooligans to break in.
Yes.
So that's.
So, but in the intervening years, it's not in terribly good shape, and as it says disused, you understand what they mean.
Okay.
It is there. It has been abandoned. So you get up to the doors. The doors are boarded shut.
Okay.
So do you carry some sort of pry bar or something on you?
I don't have a pry bar. I do have a pocket knife. And I will look for anything that is slightly less protected than that, like say a window.
Okay.
Something else
You
where I
cruise
can
around,
Hmm?
and you find a way to get up towards, to get up onto the roof, and you figure you can pry open one of the
Sure.
one of the skylights from there, and
Yeah.
indeed you do.
Okay.
You get there, you jimmy the lock open, and it opens up. And you're like, all right. You're feeling a great sense of anticipation as you're about to leap down and hopefully learn something about what happened.
Yeah.
And get some answers.
At the
And
same
as you're
time,
talking-
though, I'm not. It's. This is the first time I've been back here since it happened, so I'm a little off. I'm because that was not fun.
Yeah, that was the start of some very bad times for a while.
And it hurt a fuck lot. So.
Well, yes. So you're about to leap in, and you see a thing appear in front of your face. And it's a little stick microphone. And then you hear, of course, the one thing you did not want to hear again tonight. Lisa Lovington from the Times. Do you have a minute to answer some questions about what you're doing tonight? And you look over, and there she is, standing on the roof right next to you, uncomfortably close again, holding the microphone to your face.
No.
So are you trying to uncover some of your mysterious origins, or do you think maybe a gang is working in here?
No comment.
Oh, can I take your pictures you're exploring around?
No.
So do you believe that you're trespassing, or that you have a right to be able to be in this location tonight?
Do you believe that you're harassing or that you have a right to be in my fucking face?
Well, the public deserves to know what's going on with their heroes. This is an important and a big story. Where you come from is, of major importance to everybody. Well, at least the people in, Crowtown and Queens.
What do you know about where I come
Not a whole lot. That's what I'm hoping to find out. I heard it had something to do with over here. That's what my source tells me.
from? Really?
Of course. I'm very good at my job, as you notice.
Yes. So he is, you can watch him switch tactics. His plan is to get her drunk and find out who her source is. He will absolutely lead her to probably not Hellbender, because he doesn't want to piss off James that much. But he will take her to a moderately seedy bar.
Fortunately, Crash knows a lot about moderately seedy bars.
Exactly. And he knows all of the various levels of seediness. He's going to go for about a 5.5.
So you close the skylight, because
Mhm.
you don't want the weather getting in, if nothing
Right.
else. Might destroy some evidence.
Yep.
And head off to the local seedy bar.
You know what? Actually, I would love to tell you my story. Let's find someplace a little more comfortable.
I can't wait to hear it. And as you wander off in the night to the nearest seedy bar that you can think of, you just kind of look over your shoulder as the building recedes, and you're thinking, next time. I'll get there next time. Black ice.
Yes.
So you and your parents are walking out of the clinic. And you look up, and there's still a crow up on the X of experimentation and experimental. It's kind of looking down at you and caws at you a couple times just to make sure that you're okay.
I reach into my pocket and throw some peanuts up in the air.
It jumps down, swoops, grabs them, and flies off because free loot.
Mm-hmm.
And your parents are like, "Oh, so how did it go?"
It was just an annual checkup.
And so you're still in remission?
Yes. I'm fine. They say you don't need to worry.
Oh, I have to worry sometime. And like, oh God, you're getting so skinny these days. We should go get some lunch. Yeah, that's definitely what we should do.
Sure. Let's go get some lunch.
As you're heading off, your father looks over at you and says, "Huh, you aren't wearing your gloves."
Eh, they were itchy.
Well, that's good. And as you're wandering off, heading off to go get some lunch, you notice this weird thing you've rarely seen. Your father's walking next to you, and there's like a spring in his step. He seems kind of happy. And to the other side, you look at your mother, And for just a moment, you see this wonderful little smugness coming from her, that she feels that what she did was completely correct.
Yep.
You think to yourself, I am never, ever going to hear the end of this.
Nope. Not with a Jewish mama. Nope.
All right. And last but not least. So, Pa, you are standing in the middle of a fairly rundown house in the middle of the Bronx. The place looks like a hurricane went through it. And that hurricane was known as the Adam family. There's a whole bunch of frat boys in various states of disrepair, having some of them tried to run, which was a mistake. A couple of them trying to fight back, which was an even bigger mistake. None of them are doing well. They didn't get through the fight unscathed by any measure. But fortunately, y'all are fairly nice people and you didn't murder any of them. And of course, you found a bunch of girls around the house who probably shouldn't be there, and they're mostly outside. The police have shown up, STEM has shown up, and they're trying to get some medical attention to the girls and largely ignoring the frat guys that are littering the inside of the place. And a few of them are on the outside, especially the one that you pitched through the front window, because once again, he gave you a bad look and you just didn't like that. So you punched him.
Stupid should hurt.
And so the other girls like walk up to you and like, oh, wow, that was fun. We haven't done that in a long time.
So before turning to leave, I look at the two guys who had invited us. So what did we learn from tonight?
Man, fucking muties suck, yeah. We don't like you guys.
No, that is not the right answer. Repeat after me. I will not roofie people, women, ever again, or else you'll have to deal with us.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
As they walk, as you guys walk past, Harper steps on one of them. You see her talons just kind of dig into his rib cage. It looks extraordinarily painful, and he's not breathing terribly all of a sudden.
Yeah, like outwardly, I am cool, calm, and collected. Inwardly, I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ, that has to hurt.
So you step outside, and you see like the police are just kind of looking at you guys, and then one of the STEM people's like, nope. And one of the STEM agents walks up to you, looks at the house, looks at you guys, looks at the one frat kid sitting on the front yard, who's one of his arms is not facing in the right direction because you didn't quite aim him well through the window. He kind of hit a lot of window frame on the way through, and that shoulder is just going to need some work. And the agent's like, so, you guys done in there?
Yes, they have learned their lesson. Do not roofie girls. That is a very big mistake. We will be the family will be keeping an eye on them because obviously they cannot be trusted.
Oh, obviously, of course. So, tell you this. Hang on a second here. Got my wrong list up. So yeah, I have some news for you guys, unfortunately, or a message to deliver. It seems like, a little visibly. So I know that I'm not supposed to be telling you guys what to do, but I heard note from the Citadel that they just want to make sure that you get home at a reasonable hour tonight. The three who still live there, they gave me a call, and didn't sound terribly friendly. So if you could like, looks at his watch, it's like, oh, like 11:58 now. Any chance you can get back by 2? I don't want to hear it. Please. And the other girl's like, fine.
It's for
Man,
done.
always ruin our fun times. It's still early yet. We can have fun. But no, okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. Because they're all still, of course, drunk. Well, see you next time then. Do you want to stay up with us, or are you gonna head home?
I'm gonna head home.
All right, yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, we'll talk to you later. And then they 3 of them blink out of existence as Moon tries to take them home, misses a bit. You see the three of them kind of falling for the and then disappear again.
I'm gonna take my chances, and I'm gonna do the super jump thing. Just yeah.
Yep. And so you kind of like, just kind of square yourself, step off the lawn because the lawn's kind of squishy. It's a bad place to take off.
Yeah. Oh, especially in the heels, because the heels are just gonna sink right in. Yeah.
And so you leap off, and you take a couple jumps, cruise across Rikers, land right on top of the main penitentiary, and leap off again. The guards are like, "Oh, don't shoot at her." The bad things. And you land yourself, of course, boom, right outside of Sunbucks, which, curiously enough, still open for the night. Still a bit of a line out in front because that's how they roll. And then you
go.
I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna get myself a chocolate chip cookie to go, which I will proceed to eat while super jumping back the last little bit to my apartment.
So you make the last couple jumps, land on the roof of your building because you have the keys to the door there because, well, who else is going to land on the roof of your damn building?
Exactly.
And let yourself into your house, and yeah, and you sit down and lay on the couch. You're like, oh wow, you haven't gone out with the girls and had a good fist fight in quite a while. That was an enjoyable evening. All right, and that will be our episode for tonight.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That was awesome. All right. So yes, that was The Powers That Be, annual number 1. Some vignettes into the lives of Crash, Black Ice, Paw of Justice, and Gen X. That is it for tonight. We're going to take a few minutes, come back to our after show as usual. This episode will be up on YouTube probably in the next day or 2, and then the after show will be up the day after that. Once again, if you like what we do here, we've got a donate link down below. Please toss some money our way so that we can do it better. If you don't like what we do, we've got a donate link down below. Toss us some money so we can do it better. In the meantime, for Patrick, ECAT, Julie, and Ray, I am Trevor the Vitruvian Meeple. Good night, everyone.